as the Renekton once again by JDG.
Ooh, that'll be something different. They're hovering over some different things there. Leona, Braum, both available too. So there's a bit of that mind game where Leona, the best engaged support in a lot of ways, but doesn't really like playing against the Braum. That might come into things later as well. Misfortune actually works very well with both those support champions now. So if Mystic wants to lock in one of these, potential that the other gets locked in there too. However, actually speaking of that, maybe the Rell gets snapped up here for Mystic. Rell very important for Zhuo. That's also on the table.
Is Rell also just kind of disgusting? Leona has been banned away this series so far. Finally maybe come through, and it's honestly the perfect answer into the misfortune. Give a little bit of room for Missing, get some outplay potentials as soon as that bullet time comes up, and that will be locked in here for JDG. So they have the go button already, now they just gotta get some follow through.
So, I think in IP they're probably eyeing, it depends on what Zhuo wants to go towards, the bigger combo for MF or the better counter into the Leona. If you want to counter Leona, you go for the Braum. If you want the bigger combo, you go for the Rell, and Zhuo has looked good on that, so I think that would be a fine answer for me, despite the fact that Leona, doesn't like playing into that other thing. And now, we start questioning some other things. Do you want to lock in Leyan Zyra again? He's been prioritizing that very heavily for this right now. So potentially you could go towards that one too. And I think they do choose that Rell. They want to go for the aggressive wombo instead of peeling back from that Leona and punishing Missing.
And that's actually a really good pickup here by Zhuo. Obviously, he's already got a couple MVPs on the pick in this playoff so far. They gotta go with comfort, I guess. And Leyan, yet another time, I believe a 9th play in these playoffs so far for it. We'll get the Zyra.
Yeah, Leyan, he's played like one game, most of the other champions in the pool, and then just a load of Zyra. He has taken up guarding duties this time. Ruler picks up that Jhin. Ruler has had some incredible games on this champion. He'll be able to take a longer range champion. It's not that Ezreal. It's not necessarily about the hopping around the team fights. The Jhin, real artillery potential here as well. Jhin, Leona, very, very powerful. Long range backline for JDG. Does open up the opportunity for them to go towards, probably a lot of people won't be liking to hear this. You potentially are looking at something like an iBird for Kanavi or something more supportive. That's one of the options they can go towards. They can also go towards something like the Ksante for Flandre, and then something like the Brand or something for Kanavi as well to have, again, backline magic damage. But then you need a frontline somewhere to help this Leona keep going.
Respect being given. Flandre, when he was in before Sheer, had a really good Twisted Fate. It was
True.
It was really interesting, and that's why when Sheer came in, it was still able to play that Twisted Fate. We're like, okay. Now
that's the JDG pick. All right,
yeah, it's the JDG pick. Now, I think this solo lane matchup is going to be super important to think about. Shanji has been hovering the Udyr a lot of times. There's no bunny lady to deal with it, so going to try to take that one away. And Kanavi will get his ruined crown taken away after a wonderful performance in Game 2.
Okay, are we just locking in our jungler now, or do you want to know the full composition? You can go towards something like that Brand if you'd like, but Kanavi really has been about aggressive junglers when you can get them on him. We tentatively say we have a thing called a Nidalee pass, where you have to be so mechanically proficient to allow someone to play this champion. The two names in the LPL which come up first for that, I think, is Tien and then Kanavi. Kanavi gets his hand on this for his 7th game of the champion in summer, and he'll be able to combo up with the Jhin and the Leona to potentially do some real damage.
I love it. They have learned, they've adapted. It's about the team facilitating to Kanavi, and now they have all those pieces to make him shine here on the Cougar. And I'll have those Cougar backs ready to go as we go into the game itself. But now it will be Shanji who is finally making his face shown. The hybridization that has become this guy on this pick. It has been so crucial for NIP in stable performances for him on this.
Yeah, Shanji, this is one of his real go-to champions. He is going to get counterpicked, and that could be a bit of an issue for him, but you do need a bit of that front line. You can understand it. As Rookie locks in the Smolder mid. Now, Smolder, it has been rising up in priority in that mid lane matchup. I think it does fine as the Corki as well. You're just looking to scale up and wait a little bit longer. Flandre now gets to choose his champion into that Ksante. He probably does want something a bit tankier. He goes towards the Zac. I love this. No one is really going to be able to easily stop Zac from getting right on top of that Zyra, on top of the Smolder, on top of that Misfortune. Flandre diving in with that Solar Flare at the same time with some artillery coming out from Yagao and Ruler could be so crucial in how they stop the big long-range combo from NIP.
Man's been cooking in his time watching Sheer. He said, I gotta keep up with the youngins. Second time in his competitive career to whip out the Zac. Love to see it here for Flandre. He's trying to make the difference to set up Kanavi as well. This whole team is really centered around the damage profile of this mid jungle for JDG.
So, big combo coming in from NIP. Less early game explosiveness that could fall into a bit of a deficit there. We've seen how important the early games have been. And I think on the other side, JDG have some really good tools to pull apart that combo. We don't always see this amount of backlane dive. We don't always see this amount of ability to cancel out those big old ultimates and get those immobile carries, but JDG have locked that in. NIP, they're going for those 5v5s. They've typically been losing those 5v5s versus JDG, or at least been hard contested in them. They will need to showcase that they can pilot this composition well against the cancellation tools being locked in from JDG.
Who will take the forward step in this best of 5? It's a win and you continue, lose, and you're out for this summer playoffs. It's also a story for NIP of maybe a miracle run starting to reminisce, and JDG wanting to start their revenge for the lackluster spring finish that they all put the weight of onto themselves. It's a game 3 where you can forget about the game 1, the game 2. It's both teams fighting for their right to stay in these playoffs, and it's JDG versus NIP, game number 3. Love to see it, and as we break down some of this compositional strength for both these teams, you talked so much about maybe some of the immobile carries here for NIP, but they will have a ton of damage centered around these team fights, but it's going to be about how they can bend around where Kanavi's putting pressure on this map.
Kanavi on this, Nidalee has been so good at doing that too. So JDG, as you were saying, in lead up to this draft here as well, JDG are starting to put more of that early game emphasis on Kanavi again. JDG, they have not always been the team with explosive early games, unless Kanavi does stuff like this, and he absolutely can be a real threat. See in this mid lane, Yagao trying to walk behind the back of the mini wave, trying to see if he can get a good trade there, but that's a nice ward from Rookie. Maybe he's learned that Corki's can do that into the Smolder and keeps himself safe.
Gonna see fighting for the level 2s on bot side. Super important, especially for Ruler. Trying to keep advantage onto this misfortune lane. Still very difficult to do. Missing, maybe caught a little bit here. There's a couple trades going back and forth. That fourth shot evening things up. A missing, getting pretty low. Luckily, Photic will be slowed down. No! Oh my god! Woo, that was so close now with Zhuo. He's going for it. Doesn't end up getting the connection. They don't have level 2 just yet. But NIP, they've put the pressure on a JDG. Potions a popping down here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh. They haven't died yet, so the potions are still popping. These double-ups are really well placed from Photic. Managing to do that flip back.
They got the Shattering Strikes. The level 2 missing goes down, and it's over to Photic. And the combo of Zhuo and Photic has been so good here. And you have to remember, Zhuo is who replaced Missing on Team WE all those years ago.
And who had on their bingo card that Photic and Zhuo will be outplaying Ruler and Missing in the 2v2. Not just once, but multiple times now across this series. 3 games in, and Photic and Zhuo are really playing much better than we've seen them throughout the rest of summer so far. JDG, this is a bit of a worry for them, and we did lead out today by saying, yeah, Photic and Zhuo, they've been criticized for a bot lane, but honestly, it feels like particularly Missing has been potentially spared a bit of that criticism. He's not had the best series so far. It really does feel like Photic and Zhuo have been getting the better of them. Great level 2. Gets the level 2 just as that comes through. Means that the extra follow-up stun is available. Fantastically timed from Photic and Zhuo, and Ruler and Missing just taking way too much damage early.
I love to see it, though. They're putting on pressure here as much as possible, and I think some of these win records, you know, for JDG looking very promising, but NIP putting their foot in the door right now as well. As I really love to see how active Zhuo has been. He's been so good for NIP in these playoffs, and obviously, you know, sitting behind Missing on that Team WE roster, sitting on that Academy squad. It's maybe a little bit of resentment all those years, but he still is going to be getting the best of Missing so far early.
See right here, this little confrontation in bot side river was about this scuttle. You could see that Kanavi really wanted to get that bot scuttle. Maybe it would allow missing a ruler a bit more safety. Leyan's going to trade for that top one. It's not going to be a double scuttle, but I think that Kanavi, at least getting something for his bot lane early, does help, especially with the amount of pressure that they put in. This is quite well played from Photic. He knows.
There's a trap.
He just saw the trap. He just saw the trap go down in front of him. So Kanavi uses that bot scuttle, stays around on bot side and says, all right, 2v2 struggling, let's give them some help. Let's make sure that Photic and Zhuo are zoned off from this lane. Leyan is now trying to return the favor.
Okay, they've got a massive wave here that Photic wants to come over. She missed the cannon. Oof. The wave, though, is going to be getting this turret plate here as Kanavi just hovering over. Dragon is going to be spawning here soon, but with that reset, that means JDG aren't really going to put the early priority on this side of the map, and you see pings coming to the top side here already.
Yeah, I think once again, Kanavi showcasing he'd rather just be active in terms of camps and in terms of kills, and Leon's done the same kind of thing with his farm on the Zyra in the 3 games so far. You don't always have to go towards the objectives on spawn if you can get value elsewhere. So Kanavi comes back out onto the map. Both junglers have that Fated Ashes now, really increases their clear speed rather. You want to get those camps down as quickly as possible. So just make sure you can get as much gold as you can. We're not really in a jungle meta anymore where you're dropping camps to continually get ganks and pressure across the map. You really do want to get maximum value for yourself in most situations.
And people say they don't like the role. See, played like this, maybe you like the role a little bit more. As NIP trying to pull a little bit of the own medicine that JDG were pulling, and they will find missing here. He gets locked down. Shattering Strikes to follow, but Ruler is right there to stop any further follow through by NIP. They are still hovering around. Here comes JDG's response, though, as they're bringing Kanavi down.
Rookie's coming down
He's
too.
on
Level
vision.
6, Smolder. Smolder can actually pull out the ult here too. Not the best early damage, but it's from a very long range.
Oh, he almost got Kanavi there. They do catch Kanavi, and all on top of that, the cherry is that Rookie picks up the kill with the help of Mom.
Rookie, this guy, doesn't matter what he's playing, he just finds a way to influence games from outside of his lane early. Yeah, oh man, all of these AD mids. Rookie plays it like he's got that semi-global the way he does. Of course he does have that with Mom coming down. Gets himself that first kill for himself. NIP, we asked them to do better in that early game again. That's how they won that first game. That's a good start to it.
It is already 1,000 gold up. Here comes JDG's rebuttal, though, as Dragon's getting low. Leyan barely gets it there. They got to get out, though. As a squad together, they will make it away as Kanavi was coming out of his own jungle. But this means that JDG will have first move over to this top side into the first spawn of grubs.
They do, but again, we come back to this conversation, which we said a few times, that Shanji might go for the all-out. Don't really think he's going to get that much for this. That's going to be an ult for an ult trade. He might even walk into Kanavi now, which is a bit of a trouble. Has the all-out? I mean, he might just use his go to Kanavi.
Sharp ones. I don't know, Kanavi. Waiting on the Q3 there for Shanji as he pushes him away from the scuttles. And I was saying that JDG get first move to grubs. They still will, but Shanji's making him hurt up there. Stranglethorn going to be popped up by Leyan down here. Photic following through with a little bit of damage there himself. Going to end up getting stopped by the Deadly Flourish, but NIP putting pressure all over the map.
And that's so key for them, because coming out of this draft, the big talking point which I had about these team comps is that NIP are looking for the late game team fight wombo combo. But can they reach there? Because JDG, if they're not at a deficit, they have really good cancellation tools for the misfortunate, because you can dive in and you can use the big ultimates. They have had a good early game, so I think they will reach it towards those 5v5s later on. The question will be now, can NIP accelerate this gold lead more to the point where JDG, even if they team fight in the way that we absolutely know they can't pull it off well enough?
We're going to contest over here. Kanavi doesn't have the leap of the Cougar, but isn't level up with Rookie yet. He's down 2 levels, so the health difference definitely making a bit of a difference. And you're still getting those stacks proactively right now for Rookie. Yep. And I think that's the biggest difference between the last game and this one. They have the insurance policy of the stacks in mid lane by Rookie, who's been having a great series so far.
Yeah, you know, Kanavi just there. Lost the Smite fight as well. Pulled his Smite early. Didn't get that level 6. Couldn't turn it around. And while you have this insurance policy of the Smolder in the mid lane, and it's on Rookie, who, you know, is incredibly safe hands for a carry. This guy is so good when he has the ability to impact the game. If you flip that now onto the side of JDG, they are still playing with the Nidalee. It is Kanavi. He is a very good teamfight Nidalee later into the game. He is one of those players which we really respect on this. He's not done that much early. He has died. He is behind in terms of XP, and he's behind a little bit in terms of that farm. We need to see Kanavi do a lot more at this kind of time window around that first item mark to really justify this pick.
keep our eyes peeled for that, and we'll check in for sure as being pushed out of the jungle. Zhuo goes for the flash play. Yagao has no exit. His Corki butt couldn't wiggle fast enough, and now missing. He's going to get slowed down by the Achu and caught by the grasp. There it comes as well. Mom's help as it hits Ruler, too, giving a couple extra stacks over. Bullet time there as Jhin is just an immobile carry in a mobile world. It is hit IP constantly just throwing things at JDG's bot side.
I think when NIP are winning their bot lane, they look so different. When they win this bot lane hard and Zhuo can start comping up with Leyan, they look such a different team. And JDG, I think they are massively disrespecting the ability of this Rell, Zyra to catch people out, and even within their own jungle. JDG have been very disrespectful when they've lost these early games in both Game 1 and now in here in Game 3. They aren't completely out of the picture just yet, of course, but this gold league is getting to the point where it could be very, very dangerous.
Finding that plants hurt. As we're going to take a look back at that, exactly how it started off, just the lack of vision here.
You know, Leyan just comes in with a blast cone.
That's bold, but
like, this is just such disrespect. Like, Yagao coming in, maybe thinking that his bot lane's roaming up. Well, yeah, but not on the timing that you need him to. Also, by the way, you're half HP.
Did the slow guarantee the roots?
It's close enough. It's close enough. I think the root would have helped anyway, but all the same, both hitting definitely doesn't hurt, and the damage, of course, really helps after that point. Now, Dragon coming up in a minute. Next one, Grub's coming up in a minute. I think JDG, I don't know whether they feel like they can't contest right now. They really need Missing and Kanavi to start comboing up. Rookie might be the first target,
He has no mana, going to dodge out of the spear, trying to get the minions here, but he's going to flash to his death as it's Kanavi who claims the first kill for himself, at least. Leyan going to chase him down, has the Leandries completed there, but cannot follow any more as Rookie will fall.
Okay, so that is first kill. Kanavi coming through, W lines as well!
Stranglethorn going to be popped there, and Zhuo was right around the corner. Surprised we didn't get the spear combo. Maybe not having the belief there, as Ruler does come in pretty clutch.
Yeah, force out the strangle forms. You jump into those strangle forms, you're probably going down yourself, especially with that flash down and Leyan's up. You don't really want to chance that one. Still, this is what we want to see a little bit more from JDG. They need to be the ones starting to combo up with the setup from the Jhin, from the Leona, or apparently just a freeform spear as well that can do his own stunts. So NIP reminded that, yes, they are still up against a very good early game amount of damage from the Jhin and that from that Nidalee, and that will make things a little bit more interesting if that can continue to land beyond this point. So, both objectives have now spawned. We can see that at this point, Rookie is going into a side lane. He's going towards that Shojin first and stacking up that Muramana. He's just looking to get himself as much wave clear as possible. If he can get himself some stacks, that's important, but it's actually quite hard for him to walk up against a lot of turrets knowing that you are still an early game Smolder.
We are going to get some serious respect given by both these teams. Just see the bullet time in mid lane. I think about half of Ruler's health, a little bit more. The grubs had been started up by Leyan, Dragon, by JDG to try to even things up here. Leyan's going to be finished very quickly here, so it will be 3-3 on grubs and 1-1 on dragons. Leyan is on this top side of the map.
Yeah, we see that Flandre jumping on towards Rookie. Not really got kill threat right now, and he is on weak side. He's looking to just wave clear as safe as possible. Good damage coming from Rookie. Gets the self-heal too.
They got the roots. A lot of damage from the Leandries. Leyan is going to go to the end of the slingshot to try to catch him here. Goes for the flash. Stranglethorns gets the passive. Needs some help from the plants, though. Doesn't have anything. Is going to wait till all of them get into the middle. And there you go. Is it enough? No. Flandre combines himself to at least stave off that kill.
Yeah, it still allows Rookie to get plates from this topside turret. It still allows him to get some stacks from that as well. What's going to happen with Shanji on the bot side? Has ult, has Ghost.
He's trying to outplay all three of them right here, and kind of does.
Still has that all out too. I mean, they might go for a redive. He's still tanking up. He has a pot taking. And now Flandre, he has no passive now. This could be a bit of an issue. He's going to have to try and get as many blobs as possible.
If it doesn't work with 2 people, throw 3 people at it. And maybe it's going to work this time. As they go in, they're going to get so much damage onto him. They get stacks for Rookie. Though he's healing up, it's Zhuo that claims it. And now they're looking at the turret here. The dive on bot side was not pulled off successfully. The turret almost going down, though. Shanji still has all out, like you pointed out, trying to get the Q3 going here. And this play from JDG is taking so long.
Shanji just contesting even on the Krugs there at this point. Yagao is going to get first turret from the looks of it. Don't think they're going to be able to kill that on the top side. So it is some gold over towards Yagao, but it's still plates going towards the Smolder. It's still going to be a turret kill towards there. And while most of the time you consider gold onto a Corki a huge win condition, the fact that the gold is going to the Smolder on the other side and Rookie is still starting to stack up is really, really important here from NIP. This is one of the bonuses of the mid lane Smolder. Much harder to interrupt the Smolder from stacking. It's one of the reasons we see so many AD carries in mid lane. It's so much harder to interrupt them, and that's why Smolder's making his way into that lane.
I mean, he's already at 145 stacks almost here, 14 minutes. I mean,
really
it's actually really incredible timing. And now has the Shoji's first item completed. First item is pretty much across the board. The Rift Herald will be claimed by NIP, but JDG's move is now to try to take a fight after missing, overextends himself though, and now will find himself maybe at the gray screen, get a flash, but still to no avail. And the Solar Flare comes out as a last-ditch effort. There's the slowdown for Ma, maybe setting up Rookie to pick up some more stacks here in the mid lane, but NIP are just gonna keep pushing. They got the Rift Herald, and they're driving that thing just like a train straight into JDG.
It's another great early game from NIP. They get themselves the mid lane out of turret. They got themselves the top lane out of turret. They're in a really good spot when it comes to a lot of their gold. Another charge onto mid lane. They're starting to really push JDG about. And, you know, we were saying that JDG, they were focusing more on Kanavi to be this early game wrecking ball. He has struggled to be that here in game 3, and that is going to continually be a problem for them.
Not going to really have the avenues to be one-shotting anybody now without a massive advantage. They'll be struggling to find those values as a Nidalee in the later part of the game. But if there's anybody that can do it, it's Kanavi. He said he's got the pass.
True.
There's a reason why we've given it to him. We'll see if he can do it now and step up. Because him versus Leyan is literally what is deciding a lot of these games. Whoever is getting that advantage and utilizing it around the map has been getting the better of the other. And now we see Missing going for an engage early here, but gets rebuffed.
Yeah, because I think it's just a good litmus test, right? Because these early fights, they're going one way or the other very, very heavily in all of these games. They have been very differently judged between the two. By the way, sorry, I just noticed something there too. There is a slight interaction between Zyra and Leona. With Leona ult Zyra, she ends up growing slightly larger because photosynthesis of the sun. That's completely irrelevant to the gameplay.
It's like, the hard-hitting analysis, all right? Shanji, though,
to the top side.
About to get some hard-hitting something. JDG stacking 4 members up here. Tons of CC underway, but they don't have the wave necessarily in a good place just yet. He's going to be stacking up the Q3. Going to be trying to get Yagao, honestly, might just die here. No way. He just separates Yagao, and he's just a little dog. As Shanji finds the 1v4, and we called him Ksante for a reason. The entire time JDG were here, NIP were making plays across the map.
I mean, is this LPL or Thermopylae or something? Shanji gets the 1v4 on the champion he's done so much work with in the past. Great kill on that weak side, gets that 1-for-1. And while this is happening, Rookie is still getting gold out of that other side of the map, still getting himself stacks there too. NIP, great early game for them again. They have a significant gold lead, getting towards that 4,000 mark at this point. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds, and bot side is their strong side of the map right now with the waves pushed in. NIP could potentially look to get themselves a dragon advantage alongside those gold advantages they currently have.
Actually trying to get a little bit of a setup down here into JDG's jungle. They're getting more stacks for Mr. Rookie. He's almost at 190 now. Solar Flare going to be popped there. Leyan getting a little bit bigger. Is it going to be enough? He's real big right now. That Stranglethorn separating JDG here. Here comes Flandre. He gets stopped by Shanji. Now the Blast Cone gets Leyan away from the fight. NIP, look at Rookie. He's literally just been free hitting this whole time, and he's going to find himself a double kill. The man you need to step up when it's darkest for NIP does yet again on a little tiny dragon.
Rookie gets the damage off, but the reason he can get the damage off is because Shanji holds the door shut. Stops the Zac E with that quick little shunt from the W of the Ksante, and that is really what determines the team fight. JDG, they can't get onto the backline in the right way, and NIP, they get themselves another huge fight.
They are just out fighting JDG, which is not something you'd say on a typical day in the LPL. It's been incredible to watch this team come to life in the playoffs, and just a little bit like they did in spring.
Yeah, much like in spring, see that NIP are really starting to find their form again. They've struggled to do that through a lot of summer, but hey, better late than never. Shanji finds himself a carry next to a wall. Walls aren't your friends when you're against Ksante. And you know, Yagao, he has the flash. He could have potentially gone for a big flash earlier before the damage came out, but I think he just holds it a little bit too long, and no one can come to his rescue at that point. The heal from Kanavi can't come through. Gets himself a huge amount of damage. Yeah, it does go down, but he'll absolutely take the 1-for-1.
Missing gets the kill there. Then we see the initial play here on bot side. They thought they caught out Leyan, but they didn't. Now we have to go back to picture-in-picture, though. There's a little bit of catch out there going on. The fight continued. The fact that they got so much separation from the front line of JDG and that rookie had just been hitting this whole time because of Shanji's positioning.
Yeah, Shanji ends up saving the day there. No backline access. See another fight. This time around the red side, enemy jungle. Zhuo doesn't have flash.
Oh,
He does have
Kanavi, you
ult
can't
just
be
now.
there. Flandre is going to give away his life here, too, as JDG. They're trying to save President Kanavi, and they just did. Leyan's going to flash away, though. A little bit of damage done. Now Mom coming through. They get one back. They get two back. Maybe the shots are going to ring out here for Ruler to make something happen. He gets him. He found the agent in the midst, but it's still NIP. Putting the hurt on JDG here. A tier 2 tower is now in their eyes. And guess who has hit their stacks?
Yeah, it is a good snipe at the end of it, but it's a bad fight overall. NIP, they can't even take Baron right now because it's not even spawned. This game has been all NIP early game. Kanavi locked in the Nidalee. Kanavi wants to take over that early game, and he just can't. He's caught out early into the game, and he struggled to recover from that point. I think a lot of this, though, starts from Photic and Zhuo monstering the 2v2. That huge kill right the way at the start of the game opened up the entire map for success. Now they've been able to be unlocked. They've been shut down Kanavi, get Zhuo out onto the map, and it's been so hard for JDG to get that combo off the ground. They are now down a massive amount of gold. They've given over so much time and experience and resources to the likes of Photic and to Rookie. And yes, it is a great extra snipe as Leyan. He blinks first. He steps out from behind his front line. He goes down, but it's still one kill, which is just not, it's a drop in the bucket.
And I may be wrong, I might be right. And if I'm wrong, go ahead and at me, but I'm pretty sure that's the fastest Smolder stacks we've seen in the world. I think it was like 1940, 1930 something. It's actually incredible what they've been able to do around this pick. And NIP are not stopping anytime soon. Bullet time on him missing the burn. It's not going to be enough. He's got those potions healing. But NIP, I mean, they're over 6,000 gold up. They have complete control of the entire map. Now they have all of the resources they could ask for to force JDG's hand around these big objectives.
Yeah, so what can JDG do? They're looking for Flandre to reach that backline. He's not been able to consistently do that. Shanji has had his number. Kanavi is past his window of power. Ruler can't cut through the front line. I don't think Yagao can either. I think they need to wait on a misstep from a carry from NIP and somehow pounce, but it's so hard to watch that. They do have some vision. NIP looking to take down the Baron, but they might just get an angle onto them.
They can just find the pick outs and missing. Will go quiet. Potentially is the execute going to be enough? Flandre finding the back line. This is big. He can actually try to take him down, but Stranglethorn's going to come through and deny Flandre. He just wants to get Leyan, and he will flash for it. Does end up killing the jungler, so maybe making Baron a little bit more dicey. Look at this, though. JDG have opened up the fights. Fourth shot not going to be enough. Ruler, he has a lot to say here. Deadly Flares hits. He's got it. He wants to get the kill to Photic. The duel, though, he doesn't have the damage. Photic goes down to Yagao, and Yagao steps up now as well onto Zhuo. He's getting the Shattering Strikes, though, and there's the TP. Rocket Barrage is enough, though. Yagao gets a double kill. Shanji is out here, but JDG, they will not go quietly.
What is that, a 4 for 3? This is the one fight where NIP's frontline kind of forget their job. They leave that entrance into the backline, and Flandre manages to get himself a lot of damage before he goes down. JDG, they are behind from this early game, but they are still JDG at the end of the day, and NIP had best remember that sooner rather than later. You can see that Flandre managed to get himself an angle later into this fight. Yeah, missing ends up dying towards one side, but look where the front line is. Zhuo's not in the right place. Shanji's not necessarily in the right place either to defend that backline, and Flandre goes and assassinates one person towards the back end of this. There is no Zyra before this point, and it means that the carries of JDG can actually do some damage without worrying about the Zyra adding in the extra damage onto them.
Very close to also getting the kill on Shanji there, but this fight gets even more chaotic here. Ruler tries to step up, and he doesn't have his fourth shot, but the entire time Photic forgets that Yagao is sitting right there.
But like, watch this as well. When the teleport comes in, a trap goes down, which means that it will proc the W onto Shanji, so the W can immediately land. So Ruler ends up saving Yagao's life with some good mechanics there from the Jhin, and now we square up around the Dragon. We soul point for NIP, the third one on the table for them. Can JDG pull out a similar team fight again, or will NIP's front line do a better job this time?
The round 3 bell ding right on the other precipice of these fights. NIP, they don't necessarily have good vision on Flandre. They don't know where his entrance can be, and this could be the changing fight for JDG. Zhuo tries to go for one of those magnificent engages, misses it now. There you do have Flandre in the middle of all of it. Leyan getting low, Stranglethorn splitting across, but Leyan's already gone. Now the Dragon, it's gone over the Rookie. He's claimed the Dragon's sole point for NIP, and the execution, it's not going to be enough. The Primal Surge saves Kanavi's life, but Yagao, he might not be so lucky. You're being surrounded by the young guns there by NIP, and Shanji is finding your backline. Shanji unlocked, and Shanji will decimate them.
Shanji gets himself another brilliant team fight alongside the rest of NIP. They do end up tightening some of the screws from that last time. JDG found their way into the backline around that Baron fight, but they can't quite get it done this time. They do kill Leyan, but not before he puts down a huge Stranglethorns, and I think that's the difference this time. Leyan actually gets the damage down compared to the fight just before this point, so that's going to be third Dragon for NIP. They're going to go towards this Baron as well. Finally look to finish that one off from their earlier attempt, and I don't really think JDG can look in for a contest here.
Another holistic performance from NIP. I mean, yeah, Rookie's leading the way now with the 8-2 scoreline on the Smolder, but they have not let JDG do anything. I love that the counter engage comes through here. That Stranglethorn, like you had mentioned, really being a difference maker in this fight.
Yeah, and just look again at how the difference between frontline and backline is playing out, where you can see that this time Leyan gets the damage down. That Stranglethorns does so much damage just with the few cooldowns that Leyan has left, and Kanavi just about has that burn time out on him, otherwise he would have been a very, very dead person to the next queue. Still goes down anyway, but hey, close enough for Rookie just before that.
Yeah, forgot about Shanji. We can't forget about him. And unfortunately, Ruler, in this kind of position, in this part of the game, you're very much about utility. You're very much about cleaning up fights and finishing them. And in that kind of position, you just can't be asked to deal with a Ksante. Now, NIP, they themselves almost 10,000 gold up. A game number 3 that's much more representative of that game number 1 we saw from them. And it's really been a step up from Rookie, who we've said is the campaign all about in these playoffs, but it really is the whole team stepping up in a way they didn't in the Ascent group.
Yeah, and NIP, I mean, what better time to find your form than now, I suppose, when it comes to elimination games? They didn't exactly leave themselves much room for error. They're definitely a team which have left it till the last possible moment. JDG, once again, they don't find themselves a good early game. They do find themselves some team fights, but they're giving themselves a heck of a mountain to climb here. And it does feel like now NIP have the stacks, and Flandre misses another engage.
He does end up getting the nice connection on Photic, but the fight back is just too damn big. And now that Dragon, he's grown into a full-blown beast. As Zhuo getting low, but they're already taking down the inhib here too. They have another minute and 10 seconds on the Baron. This might just be it.
I think that might just be it. A minute left on the Baron, and I think with the waves coming in and a teleport within short range for Shanji to make sure at least one of those turrets go down. JDG, do they have the damage? Do they have the threat? I don't think they do.
JDG had all the pressure, all the weight on their shoulders, but NIP, they are made of miracles, and they are made for the playoffs, as NIP will put themselves on soul point, and now match point against JDG.
NIP, maybe a little bit of that nip magic, which this organization has occasionally pulled out across the esports world. They were very much underdogs coming into today, and JDG, I don't know whether they underestimated them in some regards. I think that maybe a lot of people did, because this is not the NIP that we've seen from the Ascension group. We haven't seen them reach this level of form before. It's quite hard to predict this kind of level of form coming out from a team which has had very difficult summer. The early games have been great. I think Rookie's on great form as well, but the rest of the team is also standing up to match him. It's one of the best series I've seen from this bot lane in quite a long time, and I don't think JDG have been prepared for that. They're going to have to, once again, figure out this early game for themselves.
I'm just going to say right now, it might be harsh, but JDG cannot just be the Kanavi team with all these names, all this veterancy. Somebody else has to be the ones to step up to help him reach that precipice, and JDG now find themselves one bad fight and one bad game away from elimination here in the playoffs. We will see you on the other side of this break for game number 4.